CD1, so thank you folks for coming. I know we're right next door to CD1, so CD2, and I know the Senate. This is the year we got to start taking those seats. We've done a great job controlling the House, the Senate, the Governor, the Executive Council, but now it's time to amp it up and take over the U.S. House, U.S. Senate seat. So thank you everybody for coming out tonight. Look forward to talking to some of these great people here. Make sure you mix and mingle with everybody, and let's win these races in 2026. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Jim. Just to let everybody know, I am going to be running for sheriff again. When I became sheriff, there's a lot of things that people were very curious about. They never saw us, they didn't know what we do, and they just had no idea what the sheriff's office actually did. Well, I can say after 6 years and 8 months, people know what we do now. We've grown our drug unit to one of the largest drug units in the state of New Hampshire. We've had 2 of the largest seizures of fentanyl in state history. President Trump and Kelly Ayotte recognized the hard work that Rockingham County's been doing. We got a grant for $195,000, and that allows us to get other towns to come onto our drug unit. And that costs no money to the taxpayers. Drugs, I might not get them all, but I can tell you one thing. When I'm not being the sheriff anymore, I'm going to take a good dent out of it. Community policing. It's my mission as the sheriff to make sure that our deputies are in your towns, protecting, serving paperwork, picking up warrants, our drug units, whatever we do over there. That's our job, is to serve the taxpayers of Rockingham County, and we're doing it. In the last couple of years, Rockingham County is the first time in sheriff's history that we have 4 female deputies working for us, and I hope to hire more down the road. We started a drone program where we assist our local towns when it comes to fires. We had 2 children that were missing. We were able to send that drone up and get them recovered safely and back home to their parents. Over the last couple of years, we got grants to make sure that for 2 K9 patrol dogs. We work with the U.S. Marshal Service. We have 5 deputies assigned to the U.S. Marshal Service on a part-time basis. And they utilize our K9 dogs to get these dangerous people that have fugitive warrants on them. So we're doing it all. I mean, it's one of those jobs. I mean, you know, I'm a constitutional sheriff. I'm a fiscal responsible sheriff. When it comes to us spending money, now there's some Democrats out there that think that I've outgrown the sheriff's office. Well, yeah, I've outgrown it inside. I mean, people are accountable when they come to work for us. When people come to work for us, we're making sure that these young people know how to do investigations. We have the largest investigation unit right now in the state of New Hampshire, making sure all these police departments that are short-staffed, that we're helping them out. We have another deputy assigned to the Child Advocacy Center, where we just put a grandfather in jail for close to 60 years for molesting his 2 grandchildren. Disgusting. So we're out there doing it, and you know, it's important to make sure that we get the support. You know, my deputies are like my family, and I always tell my deputies, your family comes first, his job comes second. And the bottom line is, we're getting the job done. I'll need your support next year. Thank you for listening to me. Enjoy the picnic.
It's great to see everybody here. Obviously, there's a ton of political energy out there. I guess I'll do this. I've spent the last 6 months or so, I'm traveling a lot, right? I'm out in California, I'm in Texas, I'm in DC, I'm in New York, I'm traveling all over the place for a whole variety of reasons. And it is still true, and I used to say this a lot, but it is still true. People go, how are you guys doing it? See, the rest of the country sees all of New England as a big blue blob, politically, right? They think, oh yeah, they're just a bunch of Dems up there. But they know that we're kind of this diamond in the rough, this live free or die, red state, diamond in the rough. And it's always, how are you guys doing it there? And they understand we don't have the sales tax or income taxes, so they always want to figure it out. And they don't believe me when I say it, because in a lot of these other big states, right, it's big money, it's big advertising. They don't do the retail stuff. They don't do this like we're doing today. And I tell them that's the secret sauce, keeping it local, person to person, retail politics. You know, making sure that it's not just having the best idea, but candidates that connect with people. And so it is shocking to me how little that is done in the rest of the country. And every day, I think from a national perspective, we're getting further and further. So the message I have is really, really simple and clear. Don't lose this. Don't lose the values of retail politics. Because once you do, you never quite get it back. I mean, the whole world is changing with how we take in information and communication and social media and all that kind of crap. But at the end of the day, good candidates that run hard win races. And that's really what matters. So whatever you can do, this is a great event. You all know folks that could be part of this committee. You all know folks locally that could get out and knock on doors or get on phones or whatever it takes when the time comes. Get folks involved. People do want to be involved, but they just want to be involved in something that isn't extreme and polarizing and crazy. And again, the Republican Party, especially compared to the Democrats right now, we are far and away the most sane bunch around. But this is the other thing I'll say. We all see what's happening to the Democrat Party. It is falling apart. It is flailing. They're going to be divided. But do not take that for granted. You still have to earn the win politically here. You have to earn every single race. We're losing special elections. Republicans are losing special elections right now in Iowa, right? One of the most conservative states you're going to find. Democrats are winning those special elections. The message there, the takeaway is don't take it for granted. You've got great representatives here. Clearly, you've got a great sheriff here because he just told you he was great. Where's Chuck? And by the way, my Mustang only runs today because of Chuck Macias. It took him a year. It took you a year, you son of a gun, to get that Mustang running. But at least I look good now that I'm in retirement. But the point is, you got people on the ground here with real jobs, everyday lives, that have families. We don't do the career politician thing. It really does matter. So keeping true to that, I think, is really special. And again, don't take it for granted. I think I think the president's going to have a very strong year. I think next spring he's going to have 2 or 3 major pieces of legislation that it's going to be really hard for even Democrats to not get behind, right? A conservative, smart immigration bill. He's talking about it now. A bill that finally actually starts controlling a little spending. Everyone knows they have to get behind that in some form in D.C. So I think there's going to be a lot of national momentum with the party, but it's about winning it kind of on the ground here. And again, he who runs hardest, he who fights hardest wins those races. And we carry a little more on our shoulders than the other states, really, because we are that diamond in the rough. We are that live free or die shining red light for the entire Northeast. I mean, really the entire Northeast. You got to you got to get down to, like, I won't even say Virginia, because even they're going back Democrat. Now you got to get to, like, maybe North Carolina, maybe Ohio, before you get to states that are red, that have legislatures that do the right thing, that kind of galvanize people's support and get people excited about what can happen on a government level. So just don't take it for granted. Keep doing this stuff. Keep making it bigger, and keep going out and kind of promoting that live free or die spirit, because it's pretty freaking awesome. We take it for granted maybe because what did I say once? If you were born here, you were lucky, and if you moved here, you were brilliant. Right? And it really is true. So let's not kind of forget that and keep the live free or die thing going. Thank you, guys.
Jessica Abbas and Tanya Donnelly up to receive an award of thanks. They had a good committee with a bunch of people that helped out, and it was wonderful, but you know how those events kind of work. There's always a couple of people who do most of the work, and these 2 ladies were absolutely outstanding. We raised $11,000 with that event. And I'd like to present you both with a trophy of appreciation.
There you go. Like legit trophy.
Legit trophy.
That's a real deal.
For the Kentucky Derby. And we appreciate all of your hard work. Yeah, let's get a picture. Governor.
There we go.
Yay. Thank you very much, Tanya and Jessica. Appreciate your hard work. Okay, and now I'm going to invite, well, after he's finished taking pictures of his wife, we have a representative from the Senate, President Pro Tem. Did I get that right?
Close enough.
Close enough. Daryl Abbas is going to, who is also a major sponsor. is going to come up and bring a few words of greeting from the State Senate.
Thank you, Steve. After following my wife's presentation, I guess I'm her +1 today.
That's right.
But listen, I want to thank everyone for coming out here today. You know, when I first ran for office, Salem is my hometown, and it really all begins here at this picnic. And I've always had a warm welcome here, but it starts here. Everything starts really here in Salem. You come right over the border into this large town, 30,000 people, and we are one of the reddest towns in the state. But we lead by example, and we see it up and down the valley. Good, clap a little louder than that. I mean, we had one guy clapping in the front row for that. That's not even me, that's all of us we're talking about. And how important it is, because if we don't get the job done down here, the rest of the state's in trouble. We have 9 state reps, all 9 are, well, one left his seat for a federal job to work for the president, but all 9 that got elected were Republican. My state Senate district, Pelham, Salem, Axon, and Plastow, that 19 state reps, all 19 are Republican. But that doesn't mean we don't have to campaign. If we don't work hard and we don't draw out the voters, it's the entire ticket that matters, and we have to take care of that together. So, would I still, perhaps, am I in an R plus whatever district? Yes, but you gotta outperform that R number every single time, because that's how you win the congressional seats, that's how you keep the governor's office, that's how you hold down all the executive council seats. If you don't do that, you're gonna lose county commissioner seats, you're gonna start losing those seats one by one. And believe it or not, every vote matters. It comes down to it, the close elections. Now, in the Senate this year, and we did some major accomplishments. First of all, we finally passed universal EFAs for all families in this state. That's a huge accomplishment. And that wasn't just a one-person effort, but the one person that worked the hardest out of any elected official on this is Valerie McDonald. She's right there. And see, Valerie, you just beat me on the applause right there. But honestly, she deserved it. She worked very hard getting that through. That's something we've talked about in this state for a long time, was increasing the educational opportunities for kids. We've done that. We provided a record amount of funding. I don't care what the court says. We provided a record amount of funding for public schools in this state. And we've done that the last 6 years that we've been in charge, and we've had the majority. We've done that here in New Hampshire. Another thing that we've done, we finally banned sanctuary cities. They're done in this state. Not allowed, not happening here. We learned a lot from Massachusetts and the $1 billion that they spent dealing with that problem, and we clearly didn't want to do the same thing. So we finally did that, and we also, this is important, we finally passed bail reform. Real bail reform. It actually takes effect in mid-September is when it finally becomes effective. From now, violent criminals are not going to just get released back into the public. They actually have to go in front of a judge. Well, who would have thought? As a criminal defense attorney, I'm supporting the bail reform. Who would have thought this? Because I understand public safety matters. We have great law enforcement in this state, but if we don't draft laws that allow them to do their job and do their job the right way, we're not going to be able to maintain the New Hampshire advantage if we keep having crime coming over here and people commit violent crime after violent crime. The most egregious one I heard was someone got arrested for domestic violence, and they got out in like literally 20 minutes, and then they went back and then sexually assaulted the victim. Right? That was the law we had in the books. We have fixed that, and we did it the right way here in New Hampshire. So we're the safest state in the country, but we're going to be even safer now going forward. But we can talk about all of our accomplishments, things we've done in the past, but we got to start thinking about tomorrow. We have big elections coming up. You know, Senator Scott Brown's here. We got to win that Senate seat, right? We have congressional seats up. We have some congressional candidates here. We got to keep that going. These are seats that we can finally turn. Let's do it. And 2026 is the time to do it. So we can all do it together, and I'm looking forward to seeing you all next year.
And now I'd like to honor all of the state reps. Everybody who serves as a state rep, whether you're from Salem or you're from another community, I'd like you to come up to the stage and stand behind the Speaker of the House, Sherman Packard, who's going to deliver some remarks. So if you'd all come up here, I'd appreciate. These guys are the ones that are doing the hard work at in Concord. They get paid a whole $150 a year. $100. Oh, I'm sorry. I'd give you a raise. I'd give you another $50. They're up there because they're dedicated to the hard work, and it's the reason that we have such a great state is because we have people, regular people, who are representing you in the State House. So I'm very thankful to have all of them, and at this time I want to invite Speaker of the House, Sherman Packard, to address us.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Over the last, as you've heard, over the last 5 years, since we took over from the disastrous Democrats running the state, we have had some tremendous victories. We lowered taxes. We did the bail reform. We got rid of sanctuary cities. We lowered more taxes. And we just kept winning. Last session, we were ahead by maybe 2 or 3 votes. It's the closest we've been in well over 100 years in the House, and we still won a lot of stuff last session. We really did tremendous work in 21 and 22. That's when we banned CRT. That's when we banned abortion. That's when we did a lot of good things, and we cut taxes. Last session, we got rid of the interest and dividends tax, so people don't have to move to Florida because their income is being taxed for a second time. We have done some tremendous things, the House, the Senate, the Governor, and is Governor Sununu still here? If he is, thank you, Governor. Thank you for what you've done. It was a collaborative effort over the last 5 years, and we did some incredible things. We did it because we all worked together. Did we have a few disagreements? You're damn right we did, but we put them behind us, and we went and we got our work done. Now, next year, the elections are coming up, as you've heard. Everybody up here has told you the same thing. We cannot afford to lose the House, the Senate, or the governorship, or the Executive Council. We can't do it. If we lose one branch, then the whole system just doesn't work. You put Republicans back in the office again and watch and wait and see what we do again over the next session. Next year is going to be a tough year because of all the construction and everything else we're going to have on the State House right now. We're going to be having all the committee hearings at $1 grand a place, and the rooms are all ready to go over there. But we need your help doing this. This is an effort that everybody has to really get in and pitch and work and call and door knock and support the candidates 100% when we're past the primary. And if we do that, we will win. And we will win the Senate seat. And we will win a congressional seat. And we'll give the House more people. We'll give the Senate, oh hell, you guys got enough already. You don't need any more. But we got to re-elect the governor. And we've got to pick up, it would really help if we picked up another 20 seats in the House, and I'm sure we can do that. But it's going to take every single one of you out there helping us do what we do best. And if you do that, watch what we do next session. Thank you.
Thank you to Steve Gaudu, the Salem GOP leadership and volunteers for hosting today's event. Thank you, everyone. In 18 hours, I'm going to be right back here in Salem, meeting with your police chief, your town manager, local elected officials, and the Department of Transportation. You have a problematic intersection at 111 in Irma, and I can tell you tomorrow we're going to see some immediate results taking place, and that's going to be the lowering of the speed limit there, along with dynamic message signage going there. I pointed out to your local elected officials that they were using a dated engineering study and that the traffic volume had increased, which may lean towards a possible light versus a rotary. but I just want you to know I'll be back here fighting for that. I'm proud of my record of fighting for Salem. $10 million for water infrastructure, so all of you have clean drinking water. $6 million for roads and bridges, including Irmer. $517,000 to keep our kids safe in school, and that's for secure access for education. I made sure that every school applied and got the money that they were supposed to have. District-wide, on Wednesday you may have heard that I-95 medians are going to be a reality. We've had several crossovers there. But the first contract I signed on the Executive Council was to accept and expend $40 million for charter schools, and very proud of my record. School choice is very, very important to my constituents, and I was proud to lead the hearing and vote in support of an $8.1 million revenue bond for the Birches School. So proud of fighting. And I'm also not afraid to take on the big guns, either it be the Department of Corrections for their failure to have a victim information notification system running for 3 months. The gloves were off there. The New Hampshire Judicial Branch for our failure to launch a magistrate system. And you may know that left a young woman, 25 years old, a year younger than my daughter, a victim of domestic violence. She was killed. Healthcare mergers. I'm not afraid to take on some of the largest healthcare industries and providers in the nation. When they came to New Hampshire and they dismantled a great community hospital, they've left a shell. So, love my job. I'm in re-election mode, and I'll tell you, 5 years ago, I ran. I was outmanned, I was outspent, but no one could outwork me. And while my competitors left this event 5 years ago, I was just starting to put, making the final dash. I was up to 3 in the morning getting my signs out there. So this is an urgent time. I fight every day, and I'm honored to represent you. Thanks, everyone.
Nice, thank you, Janet. Okay, next we have a candidate for U.S. Senate. New Hampshire has a problem. We're a 50-50 state with red and blue, Democrat, Republican, and we have zero representation in Washington, D.C. And we need to change that. And this is the year that we're going to change it. And I'd like you to hear a few words from our candidate, Scott Brown, former U.S. Senator and Ambassador to New Zealand and something else that I don't remember. Scott Brown.
Thank you, Steve. Well, thank you, everybody. It's wonderful to be back here. And actually, I just ran into a good friend of mine. I went to high school with him, Earl Robinson. He's up in Ridge. Earl, say hi to everybody. Yeah, we graduated together and both athletes together. It's great to see you. Thanks for moving up here, and I appreciate your support and your vote. First of all, I want to just echo what the speaker said. First of all, I want to thank him for his endorsement and many of the reps that are up there. Obviously, what they've done with the educational accounts, with the bail reform, with the sanctuary cities, it's really a model for the rest of the country. So congratulations to them. I've been very, very proud to talk about them as I travel and speak around the country. But picture this, we have a great governor in Governor Sununu, who represented us for, 8 years, right? And we have Governor Ayotte. We have the majority in the Senate. It's actually a supermajority. We've got the majority in the House. We've got the 4-1 in the Executive Council, but we got 4 knuckleheads up in Washington, D.C., who basically do everything to thwart our New Hampshire advantage. No income tax, no sales tax, no bottle bill, carry a gun or not, wear a motorcycle helmet or not. The ability to basically live free or die. I believe, in my personal beliefs, I guess as I get older, I feel like I'm turning into a libertarian in terms of the social issues. Just leave me, my wife, my body, my wife's bodies, my kids' bodies, just leave everybody alone. And if you're going to do something, for example, the men and boys and women and girls sports, listen, if somebody's making a difficult decision and they want to change the way that they think of themselves, that's great, that's libertarian, that's fine. But then don't take that and parlay that into changing and basically devastating young girls and women when they're trying to fulfill their dreams. It's just wrong. It's a question of fairness. But that's something that Chris Pappas believes in. The men and boys and women and girls sports, the sanctuary cities, doesn't support our police and law enforcement and the qualified immunity, just tax and spend. We could go on and on and on. You know, when President Trump bombed Iran, listen, I've been to Afghanistan, Pakistan, Israel, Dubai, Jordan, Kazakhstan, represented President Trump for almost 4 years in New Zealand, Cook, Niue, Samoa, our interest in Antarctica, worked with 54 ambassadors around the world. And President Trump basically does what everybody's wanted to do forever and get rid of the bully, which is Iran, right? Do you think that one Democrat in this country, in this delegation, could say, congratulations, sir, what an amazing accomplishment? No. Do you think that Chris Pappas or anyone in our delegation could say, you know what, congratulations to the men and women airmen who pulled off this amazing, amazing effort, 39 hours. I felt like I was watching a Tom Clancy movie, you know, Mission Impossible. They just did it. Do you think one of them could say thank you? Crickets. And that's the difference for somebody who served for almost 40 years in the military, started after the blizzard of '78, retired as a colonel the last 4 at the Pentagon, assessor, selectman, state rep, state senator, United States senator. Your ambassador, New Hampshire's representative on the world stage, confirmed 94-4 to represent President Trump in you overseas as the plenipotentiary. Do you know what a plenipotentiary is? It's the president's sole and exclusive representative to represent the United States of America in a foreign country. It was an honor, one of the greatest honors of my life. And let me tell you while I'm running, then I'll let other important people speak. I'm running because to think that Chris Pappas could be our senator for 30 or 40 years makes me puke. It makes me, listen, for somebody who basically, for somebody who wants the men and boys and women and girls sports, who wants to spend, can't support our administration on anything. You can't find $1 of savings. You can't do one thing. You can't find one thing to agree with the administration on. We don't want a person and a party of no. Because for the next 2 years, whether they like it or not, the Republicans, President Trump will be there. So we need somebody in Washington, D.C. right now in the next election cycle, because Gene Shaheen isn't coming through that door. It's Chris Pappas. He wants a promotion. I want a stronger America. He wants a promotion. Okay? And we are going to need somebody. The governor's going to need somebody. The Senate president, the speaker, the executive council are going to need somebody to be there to represent New Hampshire, to bring any and all funding or problem solving that we need for New Hampshire. Because right now, we don't have it. So I encourage you to come and take a sign. Just so you know, we have 500 endorsers. We're setting record pace in fundraising. I've never raised the amount of money we've raised before. And take a bumper sticker. We would love to have you be part of this amazing, amazing effort. It feels so fun. We were just in Milford. We're here tonight. We're going to another event. So let them keep up, because they can't. So God bless you. God bless America. Keep fighting and go make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. Let's send a message to Chris Pappas to say that he's already found his calling, making chicken fingers in Manchester. Thank you, Scott. All right, so at this point, I would like to recognize the Elks for doing such a fantastic job, and Ed Humanick for support, all of the support that we get from the Elks to make this event run so well. Thank you. Now we have a couple of candidates. First, I want to start with CD2, Congressional District 2, which is what Salem is a part of. And we have candidate to help bring more Republicans to Washington, D.C., Lily Tang Williams. Thank you, Lily.
Oh, it's good to see you, Steve.
Good to see you.
Yeah. Well, we just had a fantastic parade for the Labor Day in Milford. Team Lily, thank you so much. We had an impressive showing. 100% participants were grassroots volunteers from New Hampshire. Thank you so much. They all were like wearing team shirt in gold color, because I like gold standard. And they hold my signs and U.S. flag to say, Lily, USA, USA. It was a fantastic showing. Well, you can see the video later. We had the Democrats machine before us with all the big trucks and big teams. Some even come from DC. But guess what? We had more people. We had more bodies, and they're not paid by my campaign money. This is the grassroots power. So I'm so grateful as somebody who come here, live the American dream, blessed to have a Granite State's grassroots support. It's real, it's authentic, it's something that the money cannot buy. I want to show you this great poll number. This is UNH poll. How many of you have seen this? June 26th by University of New Hampshire poll showing potential rematch between Lily Tang Williams and Maggie Goodlander, 2026 in City 2. Her favorability, 31%. My 30%. Within 2% margin of error, we are neck to neck. Here's the good news. Her unfavorability is 36%. Mine is 33%. So she was more unlikable than me for some reason. She's incumbent. And if you look at the overall, 14% people don't know about her to say anything. But for me, it's don't know enough to say anything. It's 27%. We have a huge room to improve, to turn voters out. But I need your support. How many of you have seen my viral debate video last November? How many of you? Yes! So Maggie Goodlander, Mrs. Jake Sullivan's voting record is just in line with typical Democrats, okay? She voted against the Doge cut. She voted against voter ID requirement to vote in federal elections. She voted to continue to keep men in women's sports and in women's private spaces. It's how could any honest, traditional woman Democrat continue to vote for that kind of craziness? Women have tried so many years to become like the equal side of society and to achieve equality. Why do they want to throw women under the bus and not, like cuddling to the mental health issues in our state, in our country? And you look at the mass shootings. Maggie Goodlander immediately jumped into attacking gun violence. She never even talked about who did the killing, who is the criminal, blame on guns. Guns were not doing anything, laying a gun on the table until criminal grabbed it. We are constitutional carry state. And we need to talk about, have honest conversations about mental health issue. And if you read this guy's, like a manifesto, it's actually pretty sad to say what they're doing to our young people, to mess up their mental health, and to make them feel like they have no way out, and they have no way to even live with a purpose and meaning for life. And they had to hate another side, to go kill innocent children and families and churchgoers in this Catholic school. I think people got to understand what is the difference between a Democrat party and Democrat candidate with a Republicans. But if you say more than 47% people voted for me last November, and I'm doing again, RFK endorsed me 2 days before last year's election, but it was too late. We run out of time. Without one single TV ad, because I did not have money, I finished, overperformed in City 2 with over 47%. So if you want real representation Washington DC and send somebody from deep swamp and deep state, I need your support. Every granite state here, I'm asking you right now, when you have access to website lilytangwilliams.com, $10, $20, $50, $100, what is your representation worth? What is your value worth? Do not throw City 2 under the bus. I just look at this poll. We have copies. I will share with you. I don't understand why lots of legacy media not talk about this. I have the power because the people gave me that power. My voice can make a huge impact. As somebody who survived communism, come here in Granite State, live under freedom, defend American ideals, defend American dream. If I win, when I win, we will send an extremely powerful message to the socialists and the communists in the world, to the radical leftists. It's like we do not like that kind of ideology. We want America to be the same America that we want our kids live under. Freedom, free enterprise, free market, and secure borders, law and water, and protect our most vulnerable, our seniors, our children, and deal with mental health issues, and truly represent the people, not the special interests, not the people who just are huge donors. I might be outraised, I'll spend again 2026, but I can guarantee you, I will never give up, speak the truth. I will never advocate for our people's rights and freedom and concerns as a common man and woman in my district. So I'm asking you support. I'm not asking you to donate. I'm asking you to volunteer. So go Lily 2026. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Is coming up September 25th to the 28th. We are, Rockingham County for over 40 years has had a booth at the fair. And I am looking for volunteers. Right now it looks like I have Sunday from 8 o'clock in the morning till I think they close down at 8 o'clock at night. And I'm looking for volunteers. I'm also looking for candidates to welcome to stop by, or their supporters. It's a great time. We're in a building, so you don't have to worry if it rains or snows or sleet hails. We are protected. Last year with the rain, the Democrats a couple of years ago were afraid of COVID, so they were able to get a tent outside. Last year it rained and they were under a foot of water. So we were not. We were dry and we were busy. So it's a great time. As I said, I'm looking Sunday, the 28th, all day, and then I need someone to help me break down the booth. And that's a big thing because I'm short and I can't get a TV off the wall by myself. But that's it. If anybody wants to volunteer, any candidates, any future candidates, stop on by. We're concession 3 at the Deerfield Fair.
Thank you very much, Pam. Pam Skinner, Deerfield Fair, September 25 to 28. Okay, so I don't see Chris. Maybe he came and left, but we have another candidate for CD1 that I'd like to introduce all of you to, and that's Mr. Brian Cole. And I should say Representative Brian Cole, running for CD1. Thank you.
Thank you. My name is State Representative Brian Cole. I was fortunate enough to be born in Concord, so I was lucky to be a New Hampshire Grand Stater. My father was a state trooper and a park ranger, so I grew up at Pawtuckaway State Park in Raymond, graduated from Raymond High School. I ended up going to Southern New Hampshire University, where I got my degree in economics and finance. I also have my degree in accounting. And then I started a business in Manchester. So I owned a wholesale business, and I had it there for 25 years. So I was lucky enough to retire last year and dedicate myself to running for Congress in CD1. So I spent my whole life in New Hampshire. I supported the local economy in New Hampshire. I employed local people from New Hampshire. I'm all about New Hampshire. My big thing is energy. We all have the biggest energy prices here in the country, in New Hampshire. It's time to build another nuclear power plant. I want to build one in Seabrook, and I want to build one up in Berlin. That'll help the economy in Berlin. And there's enough nuclear material in Seabrook to power both these facilities. The rods that are there still have 95% of the energy in it. So it's a win-win situation as far as I'm concerned. I think New Hampshire should be energy independent. And our extra energy, we're happy enough to sell it to our neighboring states, because in New Hampshire, we're good like that. I was fortunate enough to be the chairman of the Manchester Republican Committee in 2023, where we flipped Manchester and we made it red again. We got a Republican mayor, and we got a Republican automatic board. That was a big deal. In 2024, we gained 4 more seats in Manchester. We went from 6 rep seats to 10 rep seats, and we also gained a Senate seat in Manchester. So Manchester's turning red, and the state is turning red. I know how to win elections, and that's what I'm going to do for CD1. I plan on going to Congress. I want to represent New Hampshire. I think there's a big disconnect between Concord and Washington because we don't have any representation up there. And I want to be your man, and I will work hard to do it. I look forward to talking to everybody here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Brian. We'll be looking for your signs to come up around in the area, for sure. All right, Davis, come on up here. We are fortunate to have a group of young people who have come into New Hampshire, brought some cash with them, brought some excitement with them, specifically to help us elect Republicans in New Hampshire. And I'd like to introduce Davis Miller from Turning Point Action.
Thank you for the warm welcome. So can I get a raise of hands? Who here has heard of Turning Point or Charlie Kirk before? That's awesome. Well, hopefully everyone who didn't raise your hand, you'll know a little bit more about us after this speech. So there's 2 parts of Turning Point. There's Turning Point USA, which I'm sure you all have heard of online. You've seen Charlie Kirk go to campuses, argue with people, and basically just show them what's right about politics. So that's Turning Point USA. They do a lot of the education stuff. They focus on college campuses, even high schools. One of the high school field reps is actually here. Her name's Grace Mack, so give her a warm welcome. So I'm with Turning Point Action. So we're the different side of Turning Point. We call ourselves the political arm of Turning Point. We do all the grassroots organizing, the get out the vote, and coalition building. So that's actually our main way to get out the vote, is building coalitions. So I'm sure you've all heard of the Trump coalitions, Moms for Trump, Students for Trump, etc. So they were awesome, and they really helped win the election in 2024 for Trump and all the Senate candidates, congressional candidates. That really worked in all the swing states that we worked in this past cycle. And we were fortunate enough to now expand to New Hampshire. We see it as a very good opportunity to pick up some seats and help turn the state red. And the way we're going to do that is through building coalitions. The Trump coalitions kind of went home after the election, and they took the win, and they were awesome, but now we lost that awesome network of activists that we had. So through Turning Point, we're trying to build this network back up. We're currently building a MAHA coalition, which has been pretty successful so far. We had our first event, which had over 45 attendees. We had all 3 CD1 candidates come out and speak about their platforms and how they would tailor their platforms more towards MAHA issues as well. So going forward, we're going to be building more of these coalitions. We've got a Gen Z coalition we're going to start to form. We'll have a Moms coalition, a faith-based coalition. So we're going to use all of these coalitions to grow that network once again, and then we're going to use them to help get out the vote for our conservative candidates here in New Hampshire, and hopefully get some people elected to Senate, to House, to state rep, and so on and so forth. So if you guys want to come sign up for any of these coalitions, there's a sign-up page over on my table there, as well as a bunch of free stuff. Cool stickers, pins, posters. It's all great stuff. You can hang it on your wall, wear a pin anywhere you want, and help spread the conservative movement. So that's why we're here. We're here to get Republicans elected. We're here to build coalitions and make New Hampshire great again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Davis.